You're a virologist, you're a law student, and you studied with Dr. Fauci. So, that being said, where's the balance between civil liberties during a pandemic and a public health emergency?
Well, the simple answer is the balance occurs when your breath, spit, or other viral particle emanating out of your mouth hits my face, then you are stepping into my own personal liberty. I think people have to understand, we wrote this essay collectively, Professor Massaro and Padot, to try to come up with some common ground of rational thought about how to behave in this. And I think that we all are seeking the same things. We all want to be able to go back to gathering together, to common practices, to our life. And we need a rational way to get there. And the Constitution is a guiding document. And there are concepts in there for equal protection for everyone, to do things with equality and liberty and balance. For instance, even with the basic liberties of freedom of speech, you can say things, but you still can't shout out in a theater, fire, because basically that's gone too far.
So, a public emergency like this one, a pandemic, can any of the government response supersede what's currently laid out in the Constitution?
You cannot erase the Constitution. That's the principle of America because of a pandemic. And I think we even state that in there. I think the quote was, "It's not a suicide pact." But on the other hand, there is a rational basis to address any law, whether it's a federal law or a state law. And that's what we talk about. And the Constitution provides for that, in the sense that if anything was questioned, there is the ability to first say, is there a rationality to this? Is there a rational basis for what is being imposed?
What should an employee make if the employer says, hey, before this, you didn't have to prove that you had vaccines. Now I want you to prove that you've had the vaccine for COVID-19 before you come back to work?
We have precedent for that. I mean, you have to bring in a vaccination card for school children to prove that you have been vaccinated for, mumps and measles and rubella. Similarly, health workers have to demonstrate that they have been vaccinated against hepatitis. These are norms. And, the government, we can go back to a very basic principle. This is a tad bit of philosophy. I may be going out on a limb, but the Constitution early on was imbued with insights of the political and philosophical domains of the time. John Locke was an English physician and philosopher who basically said that individuals had this sort of natural right to do certain things within reason, but if we then assemble in a society, we have to give in a little in order to have some order. And that's sort of the concept here within the Constitution.
Who's defining the norms in a pandemic, in a time of unknowns?
You need to listen to experts who know this. I think it would be very interesting to poll most individuals to see if they really understand the difference between a bacteria and a virus as far as how they grow. For instance, bacteria grow on their own. But viruses require a host. You are the host. If we take the host out, there is no virus. That's why we need this element of restriction, of covering, of masks, etc. It's to take the host, which we are, out of the equation. And that's the best way to cut down on the infectiousness and the spread of this virus.
Okay, Dr. Marv Slepian, simplifying things for us in the unknowns. Thank you.
Thank you very much.